what would you do to make this team better? I mean, you are looking at it from a different viewpoint we are. You're looking at it from a fans and having fun kind of perspective. Is that fair to put it that way?
It's fair.
Yeah. But you're a fan. All right, you're a fan and you're a blogger. What do they have to do here to make this team better, or do you care?
I definitely care. I mean, it's definitely more fun to watch good baseball and, and watch prospects force their way to the majors instead of just kind of get thrown to the majors hoping they'll stick. Like you said a few shows ago, the Rockies should invest more in pitching. But the problem with the Rockies is that since all their hitters are overvalued and all their pitchers are undervalued, they're like buying pitching using the euro and they're selling off their hitters in the Canadian dollar. There's this big trade gap. They do have to trade and develop, draft and develop. But what I would like them to do is either go for a big name pitcher. I mean, I wasn't a fan of Shields, but like a Scherzer type. They could have gone for something like that. But what I think would even be better is to trade for a really good pitcher who's had success in Coors before, or sign a really good pitcher who's had success at Coors. That might get past the stigma of, pitchers can't do well at Coors Field. Ian Kennedy is coming up as a free agent, and he has one of the best track records at Coors Field, and he's also not going to be at the price upper tier star level. It's possible the Rockies could jump on him and get him while everybody's tied up with price.
Richard, I want to talk bigger picture here. I understand that we're all trying to figure out how they can put a better product on the field, but I believe, and I think Woody does too in some respects, that this is a more global problem with this franchise. So Patrick Saunders from the Denver Post tweeted out today that the Rockies' record in the last 5 years is worse. Their winning percentage is worse than it was in their first 5 years of existence. Mm-hmm. That was an expansion team.
Yeah.
And they made the playoffs in '95. This team hasn't even made the playoffs in the last 5 years. So you can make the case they are worse than an expansion team. So where does the blame lie? Where would you say the blame lies? And pick among owner, general managership, product on the field. Manager. Okay, throw manager in.
Can I choose?
Where does the problem right now lie?
I would choose the culture, the overall system. They should, it would have been nice if they'd at least evaluated some outside talent before promoting Bridich. But on the other hand, I mean, I was against the Bridich hire because I'm like, you need somebody with a different perspective. But a lot of people that I talked to who are independent of the Rockies were saying he's one of the bright stars. But there's an organizational flaw that's going on here. We've seen it this year. We saw it last year where Arenado gets hurt, and the best that we can come up with is teaching Culberson to play third base on the fly, or moving Kadire, who hasn't played there since the 20s, over to third base. We have Dickerson having problems, and instead of promoting one of our outfielders from the minors and giving them a shot, we just move up over there. There's this fundamental disconnect sometimes between what's supposed to be a top 10 farm system and how well it's able to reinforce.
No, I was going to say, I read recently an objective report, I believe, that said they were 14th, and I keep coming back to...
The farm system.
Yeah, the farm
ranked
system.
14th.
And I count it all the time. I counted it today. There are 7 players on the roster that came up through the system. That is not what you're claiming to be. Draft and development is not when 8 of your 12 pitchers are from another organization.
Yeah, they're not following their own stated plan
that's
of draft and
that's
development.
That's what bothers me. And you talk about bloggers as opposed to, we're getting enough positive stuff about the Rockies from their controlled media. MLB, Root, and
ColoradoRockies.com.
Yeah, and KOA.
Yeah.
My philosophy, just so the other bloggers that are watching this, they want to pick on me and Kisla all the time, is we hear that side every night. I watch all the games. I'm either there or watch them. We hear that. I think there needs to be some balance from the other side. And it's like the bloggers feel like, based on the ones I read, that they have to balance us. Well, there's already this massive marketing balance that exists.
I would say 90% of what's being written isn't with, to be honest, Woody Paige in mind. That's their own personal...
And I don't care, really.
No, I understand. But I'm just saying, some people are more optimistic than others. Some people are more pessimistic. For my own kind of views, I've seen worse organizations than the Rockies. We're not talking about, needing
Goes to
Cubs,
Billboard.
Pirates.
There are worse organizations, not this year.
There aren't many worse,
Well,
all
it
right?
depends. Do you want to do a Cubs, Pirates, Astros rebuild where you trade every single valuable player? I mean, going beyond Tulo, going on down to Arenado and getting some kind of prospects, rebuild the system and wait 5 to 7 years. The Rockies the Rockies have some major league talent. They have some minor league talent. It's not the Pirates with just Jason Bay.
No, but the way they're doing it isn't working.
The way they're doing it is not working. And they in portion as well, they got unlucky last year, not just with injuries, but with being able to scoring runs. I mean, it doesn't make sense why an offense this good is so low in the league in scoring runs. And it looks like what happened last year as far as being able to have the top offense in the National League, it might not happen this year.
I advocated trading Tulo over the weekend, and a number of bloggers started a not so fun conversation with me. That was the.
And you got even less fun.
I got
than
into
they
it.
did.
I got into it. Let's just leave it at that. Would you trade Tulo? And what do you need to get in return?
Tulo is hard to replace. I, at this point, would keep Tulo at least until the trading deadline and hope he recoups some offensive value. My fear is that he ends up devaluating himself so that a trade to the Yankees works and he's able to pick up prospects. But if I was going to get somebody, Troy Rank put it well, you've got to get a position player, you've got to get a pitcher, and I'd like somebody as an established pitcher, somebody not just an innings eater like a Kyle Kendrick type, but a quality innings eater. We have to increase what we consider to be good with the Colorado Rockies.
That's always driven me crazy. We want an innings eater. No, you want a guy who throws a lot of innings and can also win.
Yeah.
Let's get
You
rid of
want-
those.
you want quality.
And just for a matter of discussion here, I'm fine with Kyle Kindred as a fourth pitcher.
Sure.
But he's not the ace of your rotation, even if he's had 2 quality starts lately.
Well,
And he
the
lost.
idea with Kendrick, from what I'm thinking, is that they wanted him to be a stopgap until Gray and Butler were ready. The trick is Gray and Butler are not ready. And that, again, is an organizational issue.
Yeah.
Richard, we really appreciate your time. Glad you came
See,
by.
it was painless,
Glad we
wasn't it?
got to talk in the press box this week. Richard Bergstrom, he is the founder and writer for
Maybe we'll come back sometime.
RockiesZingers.com, one of the Rockies blogs.